I'm going to start with Don't Breathe. 2014, directed by Fede Alvarez.
The blind old man.
The blind old man movie. Yeah. So
the guy
you got
from Avatar.
Yeah, the guy from Avatar.
Oh my gosh.
Stephen Lang. Stephen Lang. And basically the plot is 3 delinquents break into a house set in Detroit, and this blind veteran dude's in there, but he's a blind veteran and he can kick some butt. And
he don't need his eyeballs.
And he don't need his eyeballs. And he goes around and hunts them in his house as a blind man.
Is this a horror or is it like
it's definitely
suspense,
a horror
action more?
It's
No,
horror
it's a
suspense
horror.
because as you go through the movie and you figure out what
Does he
else
kill
is
them
his-
in different
Doesn't
ways?
that mean it's a slasher?
No, not necessarily.
No, a slasher.
They're
No, a
delinquents.
slasher.
They're delinquents that stuck into his house.
No,
That-
and
you know
a
what?
slasher means that the killer in a slasher movie is treated like a monster. It goes. It
Wouldn't that
specifically is
qualify?
designed to be treated.
I don't know
like
if
Wouldn't
I
he
qualify
qualify?
it.
No,
just
he
because it
wouldn't
has
qualify.
delinquents. If
No.
it was like good kids
Just
going in the
because there's
house,
delinquents.
if there was good kids going in there breaking into his house, then it's a different story.
No, that's not different because the kids
What?
in Freddy movies and Jason movies are.
What if it's a kid across the street that's like, he has a rich fortune, I need to save my family because we're getting evicted, this is my only way out, and then
Is that in the movie?
No.
Oh.
I'm just
No,
making it
he's
up.
giving you an example.
So like,
Oh,
I don't think it's a slasher.
I've never
film.
seen this
It's
movie.
It's all horror suspense, mostly suspense.
Yeah.
But it's got some messed up stuff toward the end of the
That's
film.
why I don't want to watch it.
And we can fast forward that. But
You-
that's
it's an
what
experience.
as you go through the house in the film and they're getting the kids, he's hunting the kids. Like they're hiding from him and then they're like going around him because they can divert him. There's one point where I think there's something that causes a loud ringing sound and it hurts his ears and that allows them to like sneak around him.
Yeah,
and stuff
do
like
fun
that.
stuff like
really
that.
cool
in
stuff.
The movie.
And Fede
yeah.
Alvarez did the Evil Dead remake and also did the most recent Alien Romulus. And
Oh,
Which
Adelaide,
I did
there you
like.
go.
Alien Romulus.
I
is
already
great.
said that could be something on its own.
So anyway,
No, but I mean, like he did it.
Don't
so-
Breathe.
yeah, I know he did
I
it.
highly recommend it. There's some like very strange, weird, messed up stuff in the end, but that is kind of makes it more interesting because there's more more flavor, we'll say, to the story.
It says
Ew.
it came out in 2016.
Oh, was it 2016? I'm sorry. Maybe the Blu-ray. I have the IMDb literally right here. Sorry, 2016.
well, I'm like, does that mean it came out the same time Crimson Peak?
Crimson Peak was 2015. This was 2016.
Oh.
Evil Dead remake was 2013. So
Oh.
this was about 3 years after he did the Evil Dead remake, which was also great. Oh my gosh. But I recommend Don't Breathe. I remember watching this. I bought the Blu-ray because I heard a good recommendation off of it. Watched it at home. Really thought it was great. And I still haven't seen the second one, which I think was like 2021 or 2020 or
Did
something.
Fede
Oh, wow.
Alvarez do it?
Okay.
He did
like a
not do
couple
the
years
sequel,
ago.
but I heard great things about the sequel.
Really?
In fact, in the sequel, he's more of a good guy because it's
That's
people who are
cool.
breaking into his house are like home invaders. And there's a
Okay.
young girl that he has to protect. And it's like, oh, this is going to be like a badass
see,
veteran
okay.
protecting this kid,
Yeah.
you know? So they change it up.
Why though?
I don't know. I want to see
That's why you
it.
gotta watch it.
It seems like less of a horror and more of a suspense action.
It's
film.
like Taken.
kind,
like
not really.
no.
Not really.
Uh,
but it's like he has to protect the house from home invaders with guns and all this stuff, not just some kids.
Actual
I
invaders.
don't know.
And you know the
about
backstory of all the stuff he did in the first one.
Right.
So it's like, oh, he's still a messed up person. But it's kinda cool, so.
okay.
I'd recommend Don't Breathe, but
That's what makes the sequel. That's what gives it the sequel a new flavor because it's not rehashing the same thing. Whenever a sequel comes out, you're like, okay, I want to see something.
Yeah,
that
it's like,
I
where do you
loved
go
in the
from
first
here?
One, but I want them to do something different.
yeah, like what do you go from
What
here?
has me
And in this case,
shaking-
it's a character perspective.
What has me
thing.
shaking my head about it is you have the first movie, which you just described, and I'm thinking that's a great. Because I remember watching the trailer, thinking, "Wow, that's a cool
Yeah, it's
concept,
a cool
for a
concept,
scary
yeah.
movie."
I saw the trailer and I was like, whatever. It looks stupid.
Because I'm like someone is, like you have your killer, but he's blind.
But he's blind.
Right? I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, what an
Isn't that
interesting
neat?
concept
Yeah.
because then they play around with like
And it's
the
totally
the
logical.
sequel is the
divert
killer,
him
but
and
he's
everything.
deaf.
And then
What, he can't hear?
you just go down the level of disabilities, like
He doesn't have his
a-
legs.
Lieutenant Dan.
That's so
oh
bad.
my god.
In the 18th installment, he doesn't have his big toe.
I know.
Okay, anyway.
And then moving on
No,
to the
he
se-
no,
that's
he
what I
has
was saying.
ADD.
I'm like, okay, what an interesting concept.
Oh my
and you're like,
gosh.
oh, what do you go from here? You make him the good guy. And I'm just like, oh, come on. Now you're just monopolizing.
I
off
don't
of it.
know if he's fully the good guy though in the sequel. Like
See,
that
yeah,
seems
yeah,
like
All right,
that
you're
might be
right.
what's
I'm
happening.
judging it before I even
But
saw
like
it,
he's
but-
got to defend his home. That's a big theme in the first one. He's got to protect his house. We must protect this house. Like in Red vs. Blue, we must protect
So
this
it's
house.
Home Alone.
Yes, it's Home Alone, basically. Like, he is a blind guy.
But he's 7 years
He's
old.
Kevin McAllister, who's messed up life, grew up and blind, and was in the army, apparently.
There you go.
Somehow
So,
okay.
If
So
people are interested, it's on Stars and Apple TV. Or no, it's on Apple to
you
rent.
could probably rent it anywhere.
But yeah, it's on Stars, and you can rent it pretty much anywhere. So
Kevin McAllister would be like the bomb diffuser guy.
the bomb diffuser guy.
I don't know. He's good with traps and stuff.
Oh, like he's breaking into the house?
No, like in the army.
Oh, he's the Hurt Locker.
Because you
Or
said
Kevin
you
McAllister
said
as
Kevin
the Hurt
McAllister,
Locker.
but except he did this and then he went to the army. I was like, oh, what would he do in the army? Like,
Maybe that's how he went blind. A bomb went off.
like
The
kids,
bomb went off.
the kids
Oh my
break in,
God.
and he's all like, it's what are the thief's names? Marv and Harry. Like,
Yeah.
He's like, they found me again.
It's their kids or something.
Oh my!
He's
Oh
just
my
crazy. He thinks that
gosh.
they've chased him all his life because they
But-
keep showing up. Like,
Yeah, it's a very tense film. I recommend it. It's a good one.